Folks, today I'm going to talk about two, not one, but two troubled REITs facing major correction time. According to PEW Research Center, 40% of U.S. drug arrests in 2018 were for marijuana offenses. Imagine that. Mostly these crimes were possession-related. Not surprisingly, many advocates for criminal reform justice have blasted how law enforcement and the judicial system prosecutes marijuana-related charges. And this trend is likely to continue as Oregon took groundbreaking steps to decriminalize small possession of drugs. And I'm not talking just marijuana. We're talking about hard drugs, cocaine, heroin. It's nuts. Keep in mind, Oregon was the first state to legalize marijuana, and now the entire country is taking notice. And I'm expecting several other states, California, here we come, to follow this trend over the next several years. Simply put, it doesn't appear that jail is causing people to stop abusing drugs. The evidence is actually on the contrary. And that means that private prison systems may be in for big vacancies over the next few years, and that's the sector that I want to focus on today. Keep in mind, today it's literally a short list because these stocks are meant to be sold, avoided, or faded. The first one on my list is GEO Group, ticker symbol GEO. The company is an equity real estate investment trust. It specializes in the design, development, financing, operation of correction, detention, and community reentry facilities. It has operations in the United States, Australia, South Africa, and United Kingdom. 1 year return, negative 34%. Earnings per share growth versus previous year, negative 6.94%. And earnings estimates, are down 13.64% over the past few quarters, which is not positive. With the rise of COVID causing shorter jail sentences, early releases, and home confinement instead of spending time in jail, and with the democratic climate that's favoring reduced sentences for drug offenses, and the political climate towards drugs, there's a good chance this REIT will continue trending lower, especially if economy doesn't spring back fast enough that the government will use the prison system to reduce their deficit by letting more criminals on the loose, which is the worst thing that you can do to a private prison facility. Furthermore, with Democrats running the White House, we may see less severe punishment for immigration fraud offenses, which will also lessen the number of people getting locked up in the foreseeable future. Technically, the stock is trading at the lowest levels in years, and I'm expecting further downside, especially if the market cools off in the near term. The next stock is extremely similar to GEO. It's Core Civic Inc. CXW is the ticker symbol. It's also a real estate investment trust which provides correction, detention, and residential reentry facilities. It designs, constructs, and owns and manages and renovates jails, prisons, and government agencies and inmate transportation companies. Very similar to what GEO does. Core Civic, formerly known as Correction Operations of America, is based in Nashville, Tennessee. The numbers are not pretty, folks. 5-year return, earnings growth, negative 17% plus. 5 years earning return, actually non-earnings, just 5-year return is negative 74.23%. Earnings per share versus previous quarter, negative 7.14%. Earnings per share versus previous year, negative 25% plus. It's not looking good. Earnings estimates were lowered in the last quarter, and just like the previous stock, there's very little institutional sponsorship causing any type of upside momentum. I wouldn't be a buyer of the stock, and I believe there's more downside, especially if the prison system continues to see major surprises that cause less people to be locked up in the next several years, and that appears to be the case. I hope that helps. Folks, I just pulled back the curtain on my algorithmic trading strategy that leaves traditional stock pickers in the dust. I call it Storm, and its technology mimics the billion-dollar algorithms Wall Street uses to send stocks skyrocketing in a matter of hours or plummeting to their death. But the best part, I'm able to do it with just a few lines of code. Are you ready to see how? Just click on the link below to see exactly how it works, all the details.